Welcome everyone, welcome to Oz by Drone. I'm Greg.
Hi there folks, I'm John, great to be with you.
So this is actually Oz by Drone and ReadySetDrone at the same time. We're simulcasting today on two different channels, so a little bit of fun for us.
I knew I knew something happened because I had to get out of bed 2 hours early. So, but it's great to be here and welcome. If we've got a whole, probably some extra new people to listen. Welcome to Australia for this brief moment. We hope you enjoy the show.
Absolutely. So let's start with a quick little explanation of what we're doing so people can get into it as soon as possible. We're having a global fly-in. Now, everyone's been talking about, the pandemic and all of that kind of stuff. We've got those challenges, and sorry for that noise, whatever it was. It's gone away.
Yeah, good.
So people have been doing things, come cook with me, come play chess with me, and all of these different things on the internet. And we're drone people, so we said, let's come fly with me. Everyone knows that famous song. So we're inviting you to go and fly your drone wherever you are in the world and do some very geeky technical stuff to send an RTMP feed to us. And we're going to put it up on the screen, share your video, and have a global fly-in. Now, what I'm going to get a few people to do in the chat to help me out, can you paste my Discord URL into the chat for people that want to go over there and help each other? That's the first ask. The second question, Lloyd, if you could post the RTMP instructions, which I'll put in the Discord room just to make life easy. And
it's actually pretty easy these days, particularly if you've got a DJI aircraft. You go to the live streaming section of the About page, and you'll see that you can select YouTube, you can select Facebook even, and other ones. And this is where you're going to select the stream. Enter the stream in, enter it, and it should connect up. So I was amazed how simple it was first time I tried it. And a little bit of news while they're posting those things up, there's a new version. Those of you that are enjoying the smart controller, there is actually now a .700 version of the smart controller, which fixes the problem where you couldn't stream previously. So perhaps if you're using that device, don't rush the upgrade, but there is an upgrade now to fix that problem. So that's a little bit of news that we had this week. It's been there for too long. DJI spent way too long trying to fix that problem for people that like to stream their footage while they fly.
Absolutely.
How are we going?
So we'll wait for, here's what's going to happen. In the chat room, someone's going to go and paste in your RTMP stream key. Everyone's got to have their own stream key. For example, if you're Chris Hope, Chris could use the word Chris as his stream key, or Artco, if he wanted to fly today, could use Artco as his stream key. Put it all in lowercase just to make it easy for me. Keep it lowercase. Make sure it's unique. Tell me when you're streaming, because even if you send the data to me, I won't know that it's there until you tell me what your key is, and then I can bring it up on the screen and we can have that come out. Lloyd is monitoring the chats in the background, and I'm going to put his mic live now. There we go. So Lloyd, you can tell me when someone's got their video coming on, and we'll bring that live.
Now, there was a plan for us to be up flying this morning, but I'll tell you, if you are in Sydney this morning or anywhere to the southwest of us, Sydney and Eastern Australia here, you know why you're not flying today. Man, it is blowing. We've had snow on the ranges here, down to quite low levels actually, and hail, and just the weather is just like from somewhere else. We rarely get this type of stuff in Australia, particularly for long days, but occasionally we get a day like this. So I'm on the boat. It's pretty rocking and rolling here. We've got a good steady of 40 knots here on the boat right at the moment. So yes, no flying here today.
It is freezing today. I've just posted in the chat for those who are on ReadySetDrone the information about how to do that.
I'm locking up on my side for some reason. I don't know what.
Your computer's locking up, Lloyd? We'll work it out. He'll be there in a minute. So in the meantime, we're going to go and get in with a little bit of news in the background, and hopefully someone can let us know when they've got a ready-to-go stream, and we'll go and put some video up. So without further ado, let's get into a little bit of news. I don't have the fancy graphics and titles today because we're doing all of this other funky stuff. By the way, we're not only on YouTube today, we're also on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, on DLive, Smashcast and Mixer. We're going absolutely everywhere. But a couple of people are chatting about the DJI Mavic Air 2. Let's just play a little bit of that video in the background. We'll cut the audio and we'll have a conversation over the top of it. Let's play the clip.
This is Mavic Air 2. You may have some questions, like...
So what's different?
So, John, have you been keeping up to date with the Mavic Air 2 yourself?
Yeah, I have. I've been looking at it. One of the things that sort of strikes me as interesting is that DJI seem to be treading on top of themselves in terms of some of the products. I don't know how you guys out there feel, but, you know, I'm thinking that almost makes it difficult. I'm thinking, of course, they're different sizes. Now we've got a little bit more flight time and you know, they're touting more range, and because they're moving the OcuSync into this aircraft as well. So it's still a 12 megapixel sensor. So if you're a serious photographer, you might want to stay with a 20 megapixel camera, not caring about flight time and range and all of those things, depending on what you. So admittedly, there are horses for courses, and you know, this is going to suit. Some people are going to go, right, that's the one for me. To tell you the truth, unless you've had and flown, like I have a Mini, a Spark, Mavic Air, the old Mavic Pro and the Mavic, unless you've flown the 5 types of Mavics out there, you might not even know whether this is exactly the one for you. So I'm staying with the Mavic 2 Pro. I've got the zoom and the Pro model. And for me, they're actually the right aircraft for me. So I'll say that. But maybe for some people out there, this is going to be a great airplane. One of the things it does have is a more, if you like, gifted processor. So the processing power goes up, but as you expect, like everything, a phone or any other technology, processing power does push things along. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right about stepping on the other aircraft. And certainly the question, Mavic 2 Pros and all of this kind of stuff with very similar feature sets. And then you've got this one down at the bottom end doing the 8K video and so on. I don't understand DJI's marketing, but certainly there are some of the features that people who've just purchased an aircraft are going to be pissed off with some of the software features that are in this aircraft that aren't in what they've got.
Yeah, I see that. But, you know, that's going to happen. And when you buy any type of computer or phone or technology, you know, the next day you wish you'd waited another day. And some people say, oh, I'm going to wait for the Phantom 5 or the Phantom 7 or whatever. Well, they're still waiting. We're still waiting for the Phantom 5. One of the things that marketing...
Can I just interrupt for one brief second? Sorry, John.
Yep.
I just saw a comment, Philly Drone Life. I want you to go... You said you're about to go flying and you wanted to support in Yahoo. Go and fly and send your video live into the channel here. That's what we're here for today. We're not here to be talking heads today. We want to facilitate you flying wherever you are, anywhere around the world, and sending your video feed into the show today. So we want you to be the stars of the show. Philly Drone Life, I'm going to have a look at what Grumpy's sending you right now in the chat. Right, so you need to use the RTMP URL that he's using, and you need to have a stream key after the end of that live, which might be Philly, for example. Instead of your key, put Philly at the end, and we're going to put you up on the screen today and share your flight. Or anyone else that wants to fly. That's what this is all about. And don't forget, after this show today, make sure you stay tuned and watch ReadySetDrone. So we're kind of the warm-up act for him, and he's going to have a lot of fun on his show today as well. Sorry for interrupting, John. I just saw someone about to go away and fly and leave us, and I thought, you know, we absolutely need to see that. But back to the topic. Let's get back to Mavic Air 2.
Why did they call it? Why? I mean, I would have used a different name. Why not leave the Mavic, the premium in? They had a Mavic Pro, right? We used the word Pro, and then they had the Mavic 2. Everybody understood that, and then we had to have Mavic Air, Mavic. I mean, I'm a Spark. That was an idea. Spark came out, and they used a different name. So I would have, instead of the Mavic Air and copying the Apple idea, like the Air laptops that they have, I would have just used a new name. You know, call it whatever, Comanche or some kind of, interesting aviation-related name. And it all would have been good. But look, who knows? Anybody's guess the way they're marketing. If they spend all that money, R&D money, in the beginning, I said this a couple of years ago, when the Mavic Pro came out, I believed, because of the way DJI was invested in the Phantom, that the Mavic Pro and the first version of it was designed by someone else. And DJI had purely bought the design, thought that's a great idea, a folding aeroplane. Let's make that a DJI aircraft. Like maybe the same sort of relationship that they have with Rise over the Tello. And I was almost convinced it was just too different. The Mavic and Phantom, there was no development crossover there at all. They were really different designs. So it might have been a different design team. I still don't know. But when we started going down the Mavic path, and we got into folding quadcopters at such a massive rate, and the take-up of them so popular. I mean, and everyone would acknowledge, if you own a Mavic 2, you probably wouldn't want to let it go and trade it for anything if you like the stability and the functionality of that aircraft. Well, we've still got Phantoms, of course, because we use them for survey work. But as a go-to aeroplane, the first one to go out the door is the Mavic Pro, Mavic 2, I should say. So, like I said, there's one for everyone, isn't there? It depends on what you actually like to fly.
Indeed. I've got a couple of clips that I found from a few other locations. I'll skip the next video and go straight to the one after that. And can we play that now? The third video in the list. There we go. Coming. So this video is some footage of some hyperlapse kind of stuff where they've gone and slowed down the frame rate. This is where I think the Mavic Air 2 certainly got an advantage of being able to shoot at those high frame rates and to be able to slow something down and to do some creative effects like that. For a video guy, that's the kind of stuff that I'm definitely excited about.
And that's processing power, basically.
That's processing power, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing some hyperlapse photography, time photography, and it's great fun. It really is.
Yeah. Other than that, what else to say about it? The question I've got, there was the cheating that, I call it cheating, that DJI has done in previous aircraft with the number of pixels and so forth. I haven't yet had enough time to research and read to see if they're doing any cheating here, but at first look, it seems like if they're doing 8K, we may be in a happy spot. Have you heard anything, John?
Yeah, look, I think those numbers have been pushed up there a little bit. And of course, again, so with some processing power, you can do some pretty clever magic. Eventually, once you drill down into the hardware, you'll see what the sensor is. And then the best, what I always do, and I'm checking a sensor or second camera, find out what sensor it is. If it's a Sony, such and such, and then I go and have a look outside of the DJI website and have a look at what that sensor was capable of. Of course, you can bind photos together and increase the pixel size and so forth, but at the end of the day, this is still a very small sensor. It's a 12 megapixel sensor essentially, and that's really what it's capable of. And the rest is magic. And look, that's fair enough. We're going to accept that there's a fair bit of magic in digital photography anyway to start with. You're not going back to SLR camera technology anyway. So there's a lot of processing in there to start with. But I think the Evo 2 is what set DJI off the rails a little bit. Their specs, their flight times being longer, the specs of the camera, what they were starting to, but we still really haven't seen yet, and been able to evaluate completely. But it stands as a pretty good aeroplane, and the numbers are very good. So DJI held off, a couple of their releases, just purely to that, because the Evo 2, the top of the line one's going up against the Matrice. And that's saying something.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move on from that. So we'll move to our next news story. I'm just looking in the chat room to see if anyone's ready to go and fly where you are at your house. I'd love you to go and fly now and send your video feed up. I think someone is just starting right now. Now, whoever that is, I just need to know what is your stream key. So please do type in the chat the stream key that you're using. And once I know that, I can bring that up onto the screen. I can see the traffic's coming in. I just don't know your key.
Don't rush, everybody. If you want to go and have a fly, I know we'd love to have you on the show as soon as possible. Make sure you're set up.
Make sure you're a safe flyer. Absolutely,
safe
always.
Flyer. Yeah, do that first.
Yeah.
You know, we can accommodate you when you're got ready properly. So no problems with that.
Okay. So while we're waiting to find out that stream key, just a quick discussion about the next one. UK has delayed their drone laws. No great surprise with a lot of the stuff that we've got happening in the world at the moment. You know, you want to make it not as complicated as possible for people to go and fly, potentially to go and help with some of our social distancing. You know, we've seen the examples of people using drones to monitor and have a look at that. But especially, you know, from a safety perspective, you don't have so many people on the ground, so no need to race that as much perhaps as before.
Yeah, I think so too. The populous area rule at the moment is a bit of a talking point because it'd be illegal to be in a populous area. So we actually put on a risk assessment the other day, non-populous area, and we could say, look, the government has declared that you can't gather in populous groups. So that became a bit of a talking point. But look, I think the regulators have pushed everything back because I think a lot of people have gone in, businesses and so forth, have gone into survival mode. All of the CASA people are working from home. So there is going to be a slowdown on these things. In Australia, we had a couple of things due to come in the manual of standards that they've pushed back. One is the changes to the flying schools. Most flying schools are shut here, and they're now offering some online courses, but a lot of them had to close for at least a month while they gathered their bits together. And so there was a requirement for them to change over to a new system, instructing system. It was a big deal. It was probably the biggest thing of the MOS to happen. We have a standard visual line of sight, flying closer to controlled airports, which is now actually has come in. And, of course, we've got record keeping. So licensed holders or waiver holders, REOC holders in Australia, have a new in-law requirements to keep records for 7 years of their flights, of their maintenance, of their pilots, and so that was normally a requirement under a REOC holder, but now it's sort of been passed into legislation. So that's going to be has also been put off by another 6 months just to let people have some breathing space. Actually, for me, it was a good time to bring it in because, you know, having a lot less to do, I thought, let's get on with it. Let's sort out some of the regulatory stuff. While we're, got some downtime at home, we can sit in front of a computer and sort things out. It seemed a logical thing to me. So we've been doing a little bit of that. We've done the tethered operations section of the manual. So CASA are building a template for tether operations. So that'll interest some people who are interested in flying in areas that are a bit more sensitive. Basically, if you can attach a tether, and as a licensed working commercial UAV pilot, you can fly in all sorts of new places, which is kind of exciting too. As much as we don't like tethers too much, they're a bit of a problem. But
Absolutely.
There you go.
I'm just hearing that we've got one of our pilots up, and I'm just going to get his feed up in a minute.
Whoa.
But John, do you want to talk about a little bit more about the weight limit that happened to Australian drone pilots in that letter that came out?
Yeah, we all got a letter. Basically, when you first got your license, and here, no one's talking recreational license, we're talking REPLs or remote pilot license. The rate limit was 7 kilos originally. That's what you had a class for, and so you had to get a proof that you could fly an aircraft up to 25 kilos and then up to 150 kilos. And then beyond that, it was certified. So, but they wanted to maintain with the rest of the world the 2 to 25. So you have micro, which is under 100 grams. And then you have very small, which is 100 grams to 2 kilos. And then you have small UAV, technically, is from 2 to 25 kilos. 25 kilos you wouldn't use the word small in my hangar. That's a big octocopter, and anybody's standard. But that was the world classifications. We're talking about the greater global remote aircraft industry, right up to the Predator and large military aircraft. So essentially, it's a small UAV. It's a lot smaller than a manned aircraft. So if you were going to describe it, if a pilot was going to say, "I see a small drone," then that's the category, 2 to 25 kilos. However, they believed that there was a significant jump between 2 and 25, and there is in the complexity. So we always had this 7 kilo restriction. So it wasn't not in legislation, but it was under an advisory. And so when you got your license, you said you're licensed to fly up to 25 kilos unless you have a restriction. And so we all had a restriction that limited us to 7 kilos. So what they've done now is they've legislated to move on the online records now to clarify that that's all you can do. You can fly up to 7 kilos unless you've flown a heavier aircraft. So good schools here like AviAssist in Australia. They're really good, probably for my money, the best training school around. They will, in your initial training, have you fly a Matrice 600 at the end of your training so that you can lift that restriction, have a 25 kilo license. So they've always done that, but they're sort of one of the more complete training organisations too. So if you're thinking about all this stuff, you want to check out AviAssist for sure. Australia wide, there's a plug for them.
Absolutely. Just a quick comment, Chris. You said you're flying. I'm trying to get your feed in now. I can see you're sending me data, but is it Chris all in lowercase? Is there anything else in there? If someone could type that in the background, and I'll just see if I've got Nick coming up yet, because I'm not getting that feed yet. So we'll definitely want to have a look at that in a couple of minutes. And I see Stingray chatting to me in the background. I set it to Redneck. Okay, let's see if we can get Redneck up, because I want to get one of these video feeds. There we go. We've got Redneck coming in right now. We'll send him live. So Redneck, your audio will be up there as well if your microphone's working on your... There we go, take off.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it. Please check it
on the map.
So Nick is one of the regulars that...
Working?
Yeah, you're
the
going.
microphone is working. So there will be some lag between him and us. If he's listening to the YouTube, he will hear
where is
that,
he,
but
Greg?
Yes.
Give us a location. If
Nick,
you can.
tell us where you are.
Roughly, state or part of the world.
I'll chat to him in the
Chris
background.
one is Chris's.
In the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, good. In America.
Yeah.
Chris one
Okay,
is
Chris.
just all small letters. Yeah.
Okay,
Looks
I'll
like
get Chris loaded ready for the next one.
Nice to fly. Nice place to fly, man. Look at that. You've got a lot of wilderness, forest. You call that bush? We call it here in Australia. A lot of bush. It's good.
Yeah, there's a pond back here and a swamp area.
That's
And
a big
you got
pond.
a super chat, Greg.
And I got a super chat. Who's that from, Lloydie?
Metro Drones, $10 super chat. He says, "Happy Friday, droners. What's up, Greg?"
Metro,
Right.
Thank you for that. Now, here's what I'm going to do just to make this even more interesting and more technically challenging. Just why not do it,
Does it need to be?
I'm going to have Chris and Nick both on the screen at the same time.
Oh, great. They won't run into each other, will they?
No, I just got to build a quick template over here. There we go.
Oh, that's nice,
So-
man. Is someone fishing down there? Are they fishing? Little boat on the... Oh, yeah, look, you got the swamp. Are they your neighbours over there? Oh, that's
Okay,
great.
there we go. We've got two streams happening.
Yeah,
We've
those are
got
my
Chris
neighbors, I think.
as well.
Wow, look at that.
So two different parts of the world flying live right now. And just a quick comment, Chris, if you can turn your YouTube down a little bit just so it doesn't open a hole in space and time and we hear ourselves back too many times.
Look at that.
There we go.
So, where's the other one?
It's down.
So Chris, tell everyone where you're based at the moment.
USA?
Or if anyone else. Yeah, definitely USA. He's in Texas?
Yeah.
Texas,
Okay.
That'll do. We don't want you to tell us where you're at, really. We just want to know what state you're in.
Oh, come on. You really...
far, Greg. It's pretty bad up high.
Yeah. We actually wanted you to go and take photographs of your home so that we could give it to bad guys and they'd come and steal things and give them to us.
Hey, why is Texas green, Lloyd? Look at that. Like, I'm looking at Texas, right? And it looks like a paradise in terms of the colour. And the other one part, obviously, might be in the north. Might be well and truly in the north. Or swamp area, I don't know, I'm guessing. But, wow, look at the different weather.
Everything's turning green here. It's just, it's still cold up north. There's still pretty cold up there. But Texas and Oklahoma has turned really green really fast.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So we're going to let those guys continue to fly and we'll go and continue our news over the top of it. We'll skip 103 because it's got a video and go to 104. Yesterday, the Drone Racing League announced that Rachel Jacobson is its new president and she'll be managing global partnerships and media. Just an interesting thing to understand that we've got a woman in droning managing the top of the Drone Racing League, obviously a very well-known organisation. I don't have the photo here for that at the moment because we're enjoying our remote guests at the moment flying more than that. So, well, we got a fence, so we're going to... Here we go. I thought he was going to go and clip it for a second.
That's good. I'm enjoying the flying. That's great, guys.
Let's
yeah,
just
well done.
switch over here for a bit.
Is that a chicken house? There's a chicken house? Oh, yeah, I could live there. That's for sure. That looks great. Happy days. Yes, north. So I'm thinking you guys are coming out of the cold period, yeah? So it's autumn there.
I have to switch to this. Is that a golf course there or just on the left?
Might be on the left.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Lloyd, I hope you can keep monitoring the chat. If anyone else wants to fly,
yeah, you just got a super chat for $20 from the famous or infamous Ken Haran, the man with golden hair. Silver.
Hey, Ken.
The man with the silver hair. Now, he was going to go and have a haircut today, and that was his excuse for not going to fly today. So, Ken, now that you're not having a haircut, I hope you're going to come up here and join in. But he says, ask everyone on ReadySetDrone on the other channel to check out Side B. Just letting people know who do tune in to Ken that Side B is his other channel that he has where he's got prank calls from his radio days, and he's got another guy going and building animations for all of those, so that's a lot of fun as well. It's a cool channel.
Chris just said low battery.
Low battery. So low battery warning, Mr. Chris has got to come home. Let's go back over here. And we've got Nick, the high-tech redneck, still hooning around over there.
Let me go see if I can get mine fired up, Greg, and I'll see if I can't get up in the air.
Yeah, that'll be cool, Lloyd.
And my key is Grumpy, by the way. All small letters.
Let's go back to the Let's go back to the low battery airplane. That might be interesting.
Well,
I'll be
put
right
both
back.
of them up over here.
There you go. No, he's going to make it home.
Oh, definitely. Chris is a great pilot. He knows how to stay safe. How do you get a stream code? ATORT Photography. You make up your own one. Yours is now ATORT, ATORT. And if you send some video to us, I'll put it up on the screen, and we'll enjoy you being the star of the show today, both on ReadySetDrone and on Huseby Drone.
And just remember, everybody, we're expecting you to keep your clothes on. If you're going to send us some video, I mean, family show and all. We're looking for some aerial footage.
Okay, yes, definitely.
Oh, there we go. Stream lost on that one.
We've lost one.
Nick?
So I'll switch over here. Nick's off. That's all right.
We're back in Texas.
Oh, no, that's not. We haven't lost it. That's actually just water. He's flying over water.
Wow, I can see it now. Yeah, I can actually see it.
We've got a duck down there of some sort.
That's good. Duck's not too worried. What's the aircraft, mate? It's do we know it is flying, Greg?
Not sure, but Nick will mention that, I'm sure, in Discord as well.
Mavic 2 Pro.
Mavic
Lovely.
2 Pro.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff. My favourite. Yeah. I was amazed at the streaming I was getting out of mine, Greg. The couple of weeks ago when we were streaming mine via the show, it was so clear.
Metro Drone says he sees the duck, but it sounds like a dog. That's okay. It's Lloyd the grumpy vlogger's dog in his room over there.
What if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck? It probably is a duck, but if it barks like a dog, I don't know. It's probably not a duck.
Someone want to take care of evolution reviews over there. We don't need that. A moderator, if you could take care of that. In fact, I'm a moderator, aren't I? Let me see. There we go. That problem is solved. Geeks Varna, thank you for your super chat, £5 super chat, side B rules. Thanks very, very much. Now let me get back over here just because I'm watching the chats and the screen.
Nice, man. You got some lovely places to fly, Nick, where you are. That's great. I enjoy that.
Now, if anyone else wants to fly, the only thing I need is your stream key, and we'll throw your video up on the screen as well. Barry Markowitz says, was that an old school outhouse on the left that we just passed? So that's a question to you, Nick.
Long drop.
Ten Toes is saying he didn't go out today because it was real windy over there.
I don't know what that is. I haven't ventured out on that pond yet.
Yeah.
I was going to say, one of the nice things about flying around your house and, your own area is you do get familiar with it. I never get bored flying in the same spot. I'm either finding something new or checking out, but I like the comforting feeling of knowing where I am, and I'm not going to get caught out. With wires and whatever else might be around. If I know the area well.
Just a quick one. I'm watching in the chat there, Jonathan Philander. Hi, Jonathan, and welcome. My father's family is from Cape Town, South Africa, in Muizenberg specifically. So if you've got your drone over there today, we'd love you to put it up in the air, and we'll take your video feed and make you the star. Now, if anyone is in a place that's not currently daytime and it's not a good time to fly, it's okay. Get your drone, chuck it up in the lounge room without actually flying, and give us some entertainment anyway. And send a video feed from your drone anyway. Have a bit of fun.
Yeah, one of the things about the feed, because it's been around a little while now, but we're at the stage where being able to merge streams and fly together and perhaps share footage while you're flying is going to be more and more possible. Firstly, as the bandwidth improves, we're all about to jump into 5G, and that'll give us some new things to do as well.
So just a reminder, if anyone else is ready to go and fly where you are, I need to know the stream key. And Grumpy has said he was going to go and fly. I might try and see if he's up
He's
yet.
had some goslings.
Oh,
got
look at
some
that
goslings
goslings there. Yeah, look at that there. That's great, man. They don't seem too worried. Checking it out. Are you sending the video via the cellular network, Nick? Is that? Oh, yeah, look at that. That's great. So you're not standing next to your house using Wi-Fi? Are you sending via the cellular network?
I'm using my Wi-Fi at my house.
Okay, cool. Yep, understood. Yeah, man, they're not worried at all, are they? Look at that. Oh, no, there we go. Not
So I'm
worried
just
at
waiting
all.
for the feed to come in from Grumpy. He's not up yet. Again, if anyone else wants to send some video and be part of this today, can I use RTMP with a unique Typhoon 480? It's a really good question. I don't have a unique. I don't have a Typhoon, so I can't comment. I'm about to fly. What do I have to do to stream? So there's 2 pieces of info. Let me see if I can get them again. I'll paste that into the ReadySetDrone channel. And the second piece of info, if you haven't done it before, so just a quick comment on that. If anyone does want to fly,
Very nice.
ReadySetDrone have their first Friday once a month. And I'm thinking on my channel, you know, I wanted to do this global fly-in thing once a month. I'm thinking if I try and time it on the day that ReadySetDrone's got their show, and I'll either go before or after him, depending on the time zones at the time. We'll get you guys to go and fly and have some fun. And Craig Stabar says, what drone model are we currently flying? It was a Mavic 2.
It's
Mavic
the Pro.
2 Pro. Mavic 2 Pro.
Yep.
Side B is meeting with Brad tomorrow to fly in Kentucky, which is cool.
Just capping back while we're chatting behind this great video, Greg. I didn't see ADS-B on the new Mavic Air
That
2.
is an interesting one. Now, they didn't mention it in the stats or in any of the publications, but they had previously promised that every new version of their drone was going to be doing that. Now, have they changed their mind?
I think they must have, or they for whatever reason, they decided it's only a receiver. It's a fairly simple bit of hardware to put in. That's what they did. They promised. What happened, Lloyd? Did you crash?
Let
Lloyd's
me have
back.
a look. Lloyd, I don't see your video over here.
We got the dog. maybe he's sort of strapping up the dog to go for a fly. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's see who we've got in the background. Is anyone ready to go flying?
I'm enjoying the flying. Well, I'm enjoying the flying.
I'm
we're
enjoying
watching.
Nick. Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Man.
ADS-B is only in the US. Is that only in the US on those drones? So they do have AirSense, which is their term for ADS-B. They call it AirSense.
Okay. So it's optional. Yeah, I remember now it's called AirSense, yeah.
I just saw a super chat side B. Ken, aka Side B, is saying, make me a moderator, please. Yes, you're a moderator under your normal channel, so it looks like I've got to do something about that. Otherwise, I'm a producer on his channel, so I should definitely do that.
Okay, I'm back.
There we go. So, Grumpy, you couldn't get it up? Sorry. The drone.
The drone, yeah. No, it was up. It never connected to you.
Yeah.
It just kept saying connecting. And
Ken Heron, since you're here, I'm going to have to take away that moderator flag unless you can get your drone up in the air. So Ken, please do attempt to get your drone up. I'd love to see you going for a fly. While we're waiting there, so let's talk about the next story that I've oh, we're getting low battery warning there, I'm guessing. I think I heard a low battery warning. And John, I think your mic's muted.
Yep, coming home.
Yeah, there we go. He's on the way home.
Yep. Ken Heron's side B is saying he couldn't get his up today either. So some problems over there, both suffering from old timers disease, as Grumpy would say.
A lot of people would want to live there. Yeah, man. Nice job today, buddy. There's your launch pad.
There we go. So
Yeah,
let's cut
stuff,
back
Nick.
to the studio.
That was fabulous, mate. Well done. And what a great things on all the way, all apart from the things we saw, the goslings and wildlife and stuff. That was a lovely little cruise this morning. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was awesome. And especially, people can't get out and about, and being able to stay at home, in your home, put the bird up and go for a fly and share it with the rest of the world like that is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, well done. Beautiful work.
I'm actually trying to connect now, and it's still not doing it, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Nick's
Grumpy.
in a great spot for wherever he is to fly there. Lots of things to go and look at. That's
Absolutely.
great.
Let me just have a look over here. Anyone know what might cause my P3S gimbal to wobble left to right? That's a question from the Mojek. Now, I can't comment about it. This is a P3S.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Just,
look,
I've seen problems before where gimbal motors have slipped or otherwise kind of had it so that they're where the motor thinks it is versus where it actually is has been out of sync, and it needed a repair on that. That was one thing that I've seen. Any other thoughts, John?
It's an unusual one. The P3, of course, you didn't have a lot of left to right movement. The gimbal was basically
Up, down.
up and down and so forth. So is it a high frequency? Is it like a vibration left to right, or is it just a slow wander like this? That would be very telling. The type of movement. If you find out, there's a couple of reasons it does that. Start with the usual. We refresh the firmware, recalibrate the IMU. Sometimes and people say, why do you recalibrate the IMU if the camera is wobbling? Well, there is a relationship between the camera and the IMU, because it obviously sends the messages across. So if the IMU is out of whack, or could do with a calibration, sometimes that can fix a camera instability. Those of you that have sort of mucked around with non-DJI aircraft and used platforms that have other gimbals, they often have an IMU in the gimbal. So if you power it up, it'll work. There are many gimbals like that. Of course,
just reading the comment from him here, seems to do it less when he's level or looking down, more so when it's at 45 degrees and it's a fast wobble. Look, short answer is it's either calibration of your gimbal and or your IMU, and if those two things don't fix it, definitely a hardware issue. Nothing else. It's not going to be software or firmware.
Re-upload the firmware, calibrate the aircraft, calibrate the gimbal, and have a go again, and have a listen to it carefully too. Often if it's a hardware problem in a gimbal, you'll hear some kind of either grating sound or something that was unusual perhaps about it, where it's not getting command, that the hardware itself has failed in some way. So but those cameras are available, so you can certainly replace the gimbal. If it's a hardware issue, it won't be much trouble.
Yeah. just reading around. Just a reminder, ReadySetDrone, their regular live stream is going to commence at top of the hour, so 15 minutes from now. We're going to go off the air at exactly that time, and make sure you do check out for their next stream. So that's their regular stream. Now, I haven't got any inside knowledge, but normally he does have giveaways and related kind of things. So make sure you are watching, make sure you're tuned in. So who's hyped for giveaway soon? 3D Revel. Please do go and check out that next stream, which is going to be in 15 minutes from now. In the meantime, we're waiting for anyone else who's going to fly with us today. Jeff Sills, who's the news guy on Ken's show, is planning to stream today. So do stick around. That'll probably be the last 5 or 10 minutes today, and we'll have Jeff up there. Mojek is saying it makes a slight ringing noise when it wobbles. Yeah, I've heard noises from gimbals before. They're
a very small, very intricate piece of hardware. A gimbal,
Yeah.
you know, very small motors. You know, they're quite a tricky bit. They're amazing what they do. You know, to the point where encasing them in as much enclosure as they can get. You know, on the later models you'll see. It's right to the point of the Mavic these days. The gimbal's quite protected under the fuselage. Still need to be careful of it, of course, and a lot of people use extender legs on it. But not saying it's been mistreated. They do fail, you know, but, you know, for everyone out there that flies a lot and had the problems before, know that the most fragile part of your aircraft is definitely the gimbal.
Yeah. Alt clutch. Hope you guys do this more. I'll fly with your stream. So definitely I'll be doing it on my channel. The only question is, will it be restreamed across onto ReadySetDrone? I'll have to have a chat to him about that. But at face value, you know, we're mates and I don't see why we wouldn't do that. But if you do want to come across and check out my channel, shameless plug, I'm just putting the link in there right now. David Christmas is saying Jas is there now. So trying to get locations, send connect info to me. So Jeff is just about ready to fly. I'll put that in the chat right now. And Jeff, just use Jeff, Jeff, as your stream key. Once you do that, we'll be fine and ready to go. So instead of your key, just put Jeff up there. In the meantime, I'm going to see what we've got. Hollywood drone operators win recognition as photographers. So while Jeff is getting his drone in the air, let's quickly have a talk about that story. Basically, there was a case in the US where I think it was Warner Brothers hired several drone operators to shoot aerial footage. And the drone operators didn't get the same benefits that other cameramen get when they're doing, you know, work for Warner Brothers. And they were a little bit annoyed about that, and it went to court. Now, the interesting thing is the International Cinematographers Guild and so on, and the court upheld this. So those people who are flying drones are actually deemed to be cameramen, and they're getting the same benefits that other Hollywood producers or cameramen would get. That was a good outcome, but there's one catch. If you've got a two-pilot drone where you have one person flying and one person operating the camera, only the camera operator gets the benefits. The drone pilot, if he's not also operating the camera, doesn't get the benefit. So if you're in a two-person team, make sure you swap over at half time and then you're covered.
Wow. Yeah, I figured that'd be right. Once again, pilot, you know, gets overlooked here. Yep.
John, I'm going to ask you to fill for me while I try and get Jeff Sills' stream up. So any topic you like. Tell us a joke. Tell us something Australian for our US viewers.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you what it's been like. We've got a great little job coming up this week, and I wasn't going to go and elaborate on it, but I will. We're building a new airport here at Sydney, out in the western suburbs. It's going to be called Western Sydney Airport. Surprise, surprise. There's a joke. It's at Badgerys Creek, and like all new airports, major airports, they're a political football. They've been kicking this thing around for more than 30 years, and finally, a few years ago, they said, we're going to build the airport. We're going to need it one day. let's put aside $5.5 billion to build the first stage, which is just going to be a 3-kilometre runway. And so that took forever then, because we've got, lots and lots of environmental issues with airports and people living in that area. This is a fair distance away from built-up areas. It's going to complicate the airspace a lot. So anyway, to come to the short part of the story, out of 1,700 hectares, the first 100 hectares has been flattened now with bulldozers and heavy machinery. And the contract for that, which is public knowledge, about $650 million to flatten the dirt out. And, of course, at the end of each section, the contractor has to say, well, this is what we've done, and we've moved, 18 million cubic metres of dirt, and give us the money. So they usually send out a surveyor, and the surveyor goes out and says, yes, they have moved that much dirt. We can see it's level. And then someone else does a check survey. So an independent surveyor goes in and makes sure 2 checks that, lots of money being used. So coming now to the point.
So there's lots of work for drone pilots going and doing the surveys to make sure that the dirt's gone away.
Well, I'm doing a survey for the first 100 hectares next Wednesday. And what's interesting about it is I kept thinking, we're doing the paperwork for it because it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing. One day that's going to be restricted airspace. We're actually going to be flying over where the runway's going to be. And I thought, I'm going to log as many hours as I can flying over this thing, because one day I'm not going to be able to fly here at all. But it's a good little job. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, or you're thinking about how you might perhaps one day make a few bucks doing this, start reading up on GIS survey, and you just need a good Phantom and a PPK lead type GPS that we're logging the photos with, and then of course I send all the photos off to get processed by someone else, much cleverer than I am, but I handle all the flying part of it. And it's really interesting. It's not rocket science. It does take a little bit of application to get yourself into it and make sure that you know what you're doing. But as I said, there's lots of surveyors using them now. They've learned to fly and using them, but there's certainly going to be lots and lots of survey work in coming years. And the Phantom 4 Pro is a great aircraft for it. It really is. It's got a beautiful camera, and it's got a mechanical shutter, and it shoots very, very straight photos with very little distortion. So anyway, if you've got a Phantom 4 Pro, don't get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hang on to it.
Let me just go to a few comments here. I'm reading some stuff. We've got a gentleman from Rwanda asking for help on how to repair and maintain those drones, especially the Phantom 4. A general comment, Jeff Sills, who is the next person who's going to be flying, he's done a lot of repair work, and I encourage you to go and have a look for his channel. Grumpy, if you could do me a favor and post a link to JS Ariel's channel across on ReadySetDrone's chat, that would be really helpful. Atort Photography, ATORT, you're about to fly. So let me see if I can get yours. Send it now. I'm waiting on streams to come in. As soon as it comes in, I'm going to put it up. We're waiting on Jeff Sills or Atort Photography. And don't forget, straight after this one today, ReadySetDrone, first Friday, they're going to have a lot of fun with their regular show. So I've got both Atort. Sorry, John?
I was just saying, I wish it wasn't windy here, because I'd be up flying for sure. I loved doing it last time. That's
the previous shot. Oh, we've got someone starting now. Let me just have a look. Bear with me. Okay.
Now, if you see me moving around on the screen, I haven't been drinking. It's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning here, but I'm on a boat and it's 40 knots outside. And so I'm at sea. I'll give you a little look while you're waiting for the video stream. Here we go. I'll take you outside.
I can see that someone is sending me packets, but it's not connecting with either Jeff or Atort. So could one of you tell me which of you it... Oh, here we go. We've got Jeff Sills coming in just in a moment.
There you go. That's 40 knots outside, guys.
So I've got a grey screen from you, Jeff, but I can see a little bit in there.
That's grey, but it's only my beard that you're looking at.
I wasn't talking about your beard, John. But let me just send this live, even though it's a little bit... This is what we're getting from Jeff Sills at the moment. So I don't know if you can actually see in there. There's a few pixels in there that look like it's got... There we go.
There we go. We're on. There was a snapshot, and the horizon was the right way up. So I figured that's got to be good.
It's not the right way up, though, John. He's on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's true. It's green, though. Look, it's nice and green. There we go.
All sorts of like rides and things. The schools come out here. They've got live animals and pets and stuff like that that you can interact with. But I did that last time. Strong interference. Yeah, I know. It's those power lines. All right, hang on. I'm going to relocate where I'm standing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got power lines in there that are maybe causing the transmission flow as well.
Yeah, I think he's also coming into us via mobile instead of a local home Wi-Fi. So,
yeah, it can make a difference as well.
For those who might have heard of it, this is the Chris Rowlands drone. Chris Rowlands had a Mavic, and he crashed it in a rather spectacular experiment. I think it fell off the back of a truck or something. I can't remember, but this was later repaired by Jeff Sills. And again, do go out and check out Jeff's channel. Grumpy, who's walked away, I'll ask him to put that link to Jeff's channel up later, but we've got bad internet for Jeff today, which is rather unfortunate. We got a couple of minutes left. What is my key? ATORT photography. ATORT, A-T-O-R-T is your key. Just use that as your key and it will come in. But we've only got literally 3 minutes left. If you can get something up in those 3 minutes, that'll be great. If not, 1 month from now, I'm going to do it all again. If not, in between, definitely come and write to us. Watch the regular Huseby.
Yeah, we have to put the word out so everyone's prepared, Greg, and got their aircraft ready before the show starts, so it's not a bit of a rush.
Yeah, I did share it. I did share it yesterday and via a few other places, but anyway.
I knew it was coming. So I suppose some people that would, and I was keen to go, but said the weather still here is crazy. The blowing down there where you are.
Don't know, windows are shut. But let me just quickly finish off with the last little bit of stuff. I've got a guest coming in a couple of weeks. Just play 1.09 to my producer. That's a video from our show. And this is Kelwana, videographer, captures some stunning drone footage of Okanagan Lake. He's going to be our guest in a couple of weeks from now. And this was just some beautiful footage that came up in my inbox this week, and I wanted to have him on as a guest. So he'll be here in 2 weeks. Next week, we've also got someone coming from The Guardian. Now, last week we played his footage, but he's going to be our guest next week, someone from The Guardian. He'll be here next week talking about how to use your drone for journalism and getting into it and telling a story. So that's going to be really good next week as well. This is all on Huseby. Again, just a quick little shameless plug to those people watching on the other channel today on ReadySetDrone. I'm going to put the link one more time up in the channel. Please do come over and say hello to us the same time next week. ATORT, it's saying error. I tell you what, jump on to our channel next week and we'll see if we can sort it out for you, teach you how to do it. But for now, I've got to get ready to say goodbye. We've literally got 60 seconds left. And John, any last words and messages from you?
No, fly safe, everybody. And remember, although sometimes we don't get going with the first time, we're going to persevere with it. And certainly we've improved a lot over the last 100 or so shows to live streaming. And, stick with it, everybody. Don't let it get you down. We're getting better and better at it. And certainly as we get better bandwidth as well, we're going to have shows into the future that are just going to be like this amazing live streaming, jumping around the world and showing each other's footage. It'll be great fun.
Okay. That's all we got time for. Please do go and watch First Friday over on the regular ReadySetDrone channel. Say hi from the Oz by Drone crew and see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, bye everybody. See ya. Fly safe.
Bye.